So forget about an intro today. We have 3 diehard Silent Hill fans here. We all just got done playing Silent Hill F, and the spectrum of our emotions in regards to this game varies wildly. So let's get into it.
Yeah, Connor, how did you feel about this game? Jumping right in.
I'm a huge fan of the series, and I'm here to play the role of Silent Hill F Stan today, for sure.
So
Hell
you
yeah.
enjoyed your time here?
Very much so. Okay.
Awesome. I had a time with this game. What about you, Clinton? How did you feel?
I didn't enjoy my time here.
Let's get into it. So yeah, this game was developed by what you said,
Neobards.
Neobards. I'm not really familiar with anything that they've done, but it isn't Bloober, which is the same team that did Silent Hill 2 remake, and also Chronos New Dawn, which I've been hearing great things about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting that Konami is kind of just like they're all in on Silent Hill now, right? So they're just like throwing studios at this franchise, and it's like, I think that's a good thing right now, right? They're trying to figure out what's going to work for this franchise to make it important in survival horror again. And I wildly appreciate that.
It's not just pachinko anymore, let me tell you.
But at the same time,
Pachinko.
but at the same time, everyone's like, "Oh, is Konami back?"
I think Konami's back.
Based on this entry, I don't, but I think they have a snowball beginning to form.
Yes, I think this game, before we just start getting into like the obvious things, I have to appreciate how big of a swing this was in regards to the rabid fan base that is the Silent Hill fan base. They're just ravenous, completely unsatisfied with everything. And I'm including us in that. But I think one of the first things to start off when talking about this game is just the setting and just general aesthetic of this game in regards to how it plays into Silent Hill in general, which I don't know about you guys. When I found out it's traditional like 60s Japan, I was like, fuck yeah, give it to me. I mean, this is awesome. I want to live in this.
This setting is precisely my shit.
Yeah.
This is exactly what
100%.
Yeah, I was so excited. I mean, even knowing that like this isn't in the titular Silent Hill town, I really think that Konami or Neobards, you need to shake up the formula because Silent Hill died, right? You need to do something.
Yeah.
To breathe some life into it. And I feel like doing something like this, taking a swing like this, is definitely a way to do it.
I think the important thing, and the easy way to say it, is that they went in with a mission statement, right? The game had a mission statement from day one. Like they said it was going to be a fusion of survival and action from day one, and they stuck to it. They also did the concept of foreign but familiar was something that was stated right off the jump. They stuck to that the entire time, and I admire the move.
We start this thing up. My first play session with this game, maybe it was like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I was in heaven.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And the way it's set up is just very, I don't know, foreign to me. I mean, as an American who wasn't alive in the 60s, I mean, this is all just stuff that you see in movies or see in manga or whatever, or anime. And
Sure.
it's just something, it's a cool spooky place to live in the way that it was presented. I really enjoyed most of my time in Ebisagoku.
I think it was really lovingly presented, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the other thing that's really interesting about the setting itself is not only is it beautiful and, like you said, a foreign thing for us to experience, but in terms of setting, it's also set as ultra modern, changing of the times in the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a society where the shrines are being abandoned. The protagonist themselves wants to move away from traditional Japanese culture and into a bit more of a modern day environment, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, just the idea of like the shrines themselves falling into uselessness, the traditions of the past kind of seeming to be a thing that they're rejecting as major changes coming into their society.
Yeah, and going again with my first hour or so with gameplay, they're setting up the potential relationship between her and her parents. Her dad's drinking. He's really loud. He's really aggressive. Mother seems to be sort of cleaning up the mess behind him, covering his actions, and she wants nothing to do with it. So we step out into the town. I'm immediately wondering, where the hell is everybody? It's so well set up in that regard. It's perfect for Silent Hill. In comes the fog. In comes the goosebumps on my arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They never really answered that question for me, but we'll get into that a little later when we dive into story.
I mean, right off the bat, you are met with this, like, aside from Shu, you are being shown that, like, there's something here with her friends. Like, there's these, like, little backhanded compliments that kind of begin to rear their ugly head more and more as time goes on. But there are, like, very small flashes of just like, oh, well, that's weird. It's like, is this kind of just because this is a different culture and they speak to each other differently? Like, you kind of slowly, that's kind of slowly unfolding to you. And
yeah, like Sakuko in her balcony reaching out to grab Hinako's attention.
yes,
And she's super friendly, super like chummy with her, then leaves the shot and you hear her say something like, "You traitor." What's going on with that?
I think it's like definitely setting you up to just be like, yeah, something's wrong. Like you are in a survival horror game. Something's wrong.
Yeah, in case everyone disappearing wasn't enough. Your friends are doing some shit.
Yeah. And this is around the time when you start seeing
I mean,
it seems wrong to call it the rot because it's all very beautiful and flowery.
Well, which is important. I mean, the overall aesthetic is super important, right?
Yeah.
The overall aesthetic is thoroughly Japanese, and one of the reasons that I adore this game so much, like just the map screen itself, you know, the way that everything's done, the penmanship and the journal entries, just the aesthetic of all that. Ties in very well with the, you know, beautiful red flowers, rusty metal, decaying flesh.
Yeah, which I guess
indeterminate gore.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it the rot, okay?
Sure.
We're going to just call it the rot. It might not be canonically make any fucking sense at all, but I don't know, sounds cool, right? The rot. All right. So the rot's taken over everything, and then you have that nice chase scene, which I thought was great. I mean, I thought the beginning of this game was just fucking great.
I did not think that chase scene was great. And I'll tell you why. The moment where you first squeeze through that corridor and Donkey said it best. Oh, cool. Look, this is a AAA game where I gotta like squeeze through a corridor so the rest of the game can load. And you get to the chase sequence where you're running toward your screen. It's like real Crash Bandicoot like, right? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. They make you do that twice in that chase scene. I'm like, this is the last thing I want to do. I want to squeeze through a corridor and watch the game load while I'm being chased by this like otherworld ghost.
Threw you immediately, huh?
Immediately.
I think I was just so enamored by everything else at that point that I guess it didn't really bother me at all.
Oh, it bothered the fuck out of me. It made Silent Hill F feel like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to me. Oh,
what a reaction you're going to get by that statement.
Well, funny thing about that is Neo Bards also worked on Rebirth.
Of course they did. That makes perfect sense to me. They did. Perfect sense to me.
I actually really enjoyed that scene. You know, it's simplistic. It's nothing groundbreaking in any way, of course, but it immediately sets the tension, right? The idea of being confined, which is always significant in these games, is just immediately present. Having to fight your way through the alleyways, which you'll deal with a lot later, in those first seconds, just, really set the tone for me.
And I've said it to both of you guys, I believe, is that this game sometimes feels like a PS2 game in the worst way possible.
I see it.
In not just level design, but in combat, which we're gonna get into because you know,
oh my
you
God.
know we're gonna talk about this combat. We could probably just get into it. I mean, how do you
Sure, but what I will say is I think the world design of the town, not the other world bullshit, we will also get to that later, I think is the best part of this game.
I don't want to sound too harsh because I liked this game more than you did. I already know that.
Yeah.
We try to buy physical copies. At least I do. I speak for you as well.
Yep.
I don't know about you.
I just bought it digitally.
Yeah. I could not wait to sell this game, dude.
Did you sell it already?
Oh, 100%. I sold this game and Death Stranding 2 to my local game store so I could fund Ghost of Yotei. I feel like it's an experience that I'm glad that I had, but I can't see myself going back in it.
There was a point at which I was pretty confident you were not going to finish this game. Like just in our limited communication. I try not to talk to people too much about it while I'm still playing. I was convinced Clinton was not going to finish
Was it first time meeting the big boy?
No, that's over in 5 seconds. That was all well and
yeah,
good.
but it was also not fun.
No.
I didn't think it was like you were having trouble. I thought like that was the first time in this game where I was just like,
I was fine with that because that monster design was really cool.
Okay, so I didn't mean to cut you off then. I want to hear what you think it was and then what it actually was.
Dude, I feel like I'm being gaslit by the entire gaming community with those scarecrow puzzles in the rice fields, in that they are genius and they're good.
What? Okay.
That was miserable.
So for all, I
to me.
think a good thing to know is we should say what difficulty settings we played this game on.
I was on hard, which was
I was
the
on hard
game's
for puzzles
version
as
of
well.
normal. I was
Hard
on
puzzles.
Yeah.
I was on story for combat.
I was on hard.
You were on hard for combat.
Yes.
Okay. That might be a reflection of why I like this game a little more than you do.
I did change it to story though.
Were you playing on hard or story?
I was story mode for combat and hard for puzzles.
Okay. Yeah.
I took your advice afterward and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool. I don't need to eat 3 capsules every enemy encounter. That was miserable.
Interesting mechanic in the game.
Yes, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But the scarecrow
loved that
puzzles,
mechanic.
how did you guys feel about that? That was the juncture for me.
It was tough, dude. I mean, I got him. I had to look up one of them because I was for certain that 2 of the ones that I was choosing had to have been right. And then I started just being like, okay, well, trial and error. And then I was just wasting so many weapons trying to kill these things. And then I looked it up and realized what I thought was right was actually right. But I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are, they're tricky.
They're tricky, sure. And I love tricky. I love difficult puzzles. There was just like, people are making it sound like it's the most genius puzzle online ever.
So-
first of all, I don't want to do 5 of these.
Yeah.
3 is the magic number.
Yeah.
3 is the correct number. And I just did 3. And how done am I feeling with this section already at this point? Very. Okay. So now I'm on the 4th one and it just makes no fucking sense. And the last one is even more obtuse with even more scarecrows. And now they're moving towards you, which was kind of cool. But still, I was feeling fed up at this point that it like didn't help the cause. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't clear at all. And I don't need this to be like easy as pie. I just need it to be like logical or accessible or make sense.
Sounds like you're not very good at puzzle games, my guy.
Because how many of my platinums?
This guy 100% of The Witness, so
Jesus fucking Christ.
And I'm not claiming to be the savant with puzzle games. That's not the point.
I don't think I wasn't thrilled with really any of the puzzles here, but I also didn't hate them. And I also don't really love, if I'm being honest, please have some mercy on me. I don't really think any puzzle in any fucking survival horror game has ever really been all that great. It's kind
Give
of
me time to think and I could come up with quite a few.
Sure.
That might change your mind, but I understand.
Hospital
and
and Silent Hill 2. Hospital and Silent Hill 2.
I mean, yes. All these Silent Hill games and Resident Evil games that I like, I'm not just like, I've never done a puzzle in these games where I'm just like, holy shit, that's fucking brilliant. I've never been there.
Yeah, but I've
I've
also
always
never
felt
played a puzzle.
satisfied.
I've also never played a puzzle in those games where I shout "fuck you" to my TV because they're so
That's fair.
They're so just like not.
Just inscrutable.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated the scarecrows, but the gimmick was up like pretty quickly, right? You know, it's okay. We've got a really visceral survival horror, Lost Woods. I get it, right? Like it was, it was, yeah, exactly. And you mentioned all the scarecrows coming for you at once. You know what I did when that happened? Ran into the fucking fog, just disappeared into the fog, and then
Yeah, they
started
let
the
you know
puzzle
real
over.
quick that you can run away from things,
Yeah.
and lose them pretty easily, which I thought was very interesting because you get to a certain point in the game where you can never fucking do that again.
Combat, baby. Let's get in.
So I'm gonna be a pretty big apologist here. If I'm going into this expecting PS2 level combat, that has, stay with me, a Souls twist, and I'm gonna say Souls twist mainly due to the targeting, due to light heavy attack, and due to a stamina bar. Dude, fuck this stamina bar.
Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
the stamina
Yeah,
bar
dude.
in every sense. But I worked around it, right? I had the little things. I gave myself more stamina, gave myself more focus time, and I liked being able to play around with those things. I did like how weighty the combat did feel. I don't like how a steel pipe will break after hitting an enemy 5 times. Doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like instead of having weapons break more, let them break less and have less weapons in the world. Makes sense to me.
You're so right in that this game took so many things from so many popular games, but it's almost the worst thing to add to a survival horror game, like your stamina bar. Like, we do not need this to be a Souls-like in that I have to worry about my stamina. And like the weapon durability, because Breath of the Wild did it. It's just like, what are we doing here?
I feel like they brought weapon durability into this because they didn't want this to be a game about guns. Mm-hmm. Because it wouldn't really fit into 1960s Japan where you grab a fucking double-barreled shotgun, right?
But there's also no wooden planks here that I would actually really worry about breaking.
I feel like there's 2 avenues you can go with having a melee-focused game such as this. And it is one, which is what they did, having the durability system. Because yes, you start off with a pipe. You start off with, you end up getting a baseball bat. Then you end up getting knives and scythes and sickles and whatever. And if you don't have a durability system, you're going to use the kitchen knife the entire time. You're not going to use anything ever again. If you're going to have enemies that don't really require you to use different weapons, then that has to exist, right? You can keep a knife that doesn't break ever, but like combat changes and enemies change to make using that knife different, which would have been interesting. That didn't happen.
So I think a distinction needs to get drawn between real world Hanako and Shrine Hanako, because the combat system is completely different between the two for a couple of those reasons. You know, durability does not factor into the shrines,
of course,
and only in the shrines do you get the long range weapons, which completely changes the way that you can poke at enemies. It completely changes what your strong attack does, and my entire approach to combat changed.
And I love the long reach weapons. When they very sparsely give you areas to use them.
Exactly.
Because a lot of those things, you are stuck in tight hallways where you can't use.
Mm-hmm. Where you'll bounce off the walls, you're trying to swipe at someone.
Yeah, dude, and I'm using, and this is the thing, I'm using focus, and then my focus is getting blown away because I clipped a wall a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a bit much for me.
And that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm not using this anymore. I am using,
So here's actually, you know what? This is just something I think we ought to discuss here, because when you're playing on story mode for combat, that's really the only time that you have to worry about sanity, right? If you were playing combat on hard mode to start with, that means that the sanity meter really played into how you were playing this whole game, and that might have a lot to do with your perspective on it.
I played this game even on story mode. Mm-hmm. I was constantly focused on sanity.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because I was constantly focusing my attacks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I used focus to lead off literally every single interaction.
Which you do use your sanity. And so when I was using the what are the charms called?
The omamori?
Omamoris. Depending on where I was constantly swapping out stamina omamoris or focus related omamoris. Mm-hmm. And I was getting omamoris. I was putting so much money into omamoris. I liked the loot box version of getting the charms. I know you didn't.
Wild. That
wild.
I just heard that.
It's a wild decision.
For a Silent Hill game.
I know. It's a wild sentence and it's a wild thing to say. I thought it was interesting. I don't think it should have been as heavy-handed as it was.
No,
but I thought it was interesting.
I find all this random junk and cash it in for points for a loot box. Why don't you just give me the omamori to find instead of having empty drawers scattered throughout the whole? What do I need an empty drawer in the shrine world for?
That was another thing I was going to bring up, because this was a major complaint of ours about the level design in 2 Remake was also the empty drawer. Like,
dude,
the empty drawers have got to go.
Yeah.
Unless it's at a pivotal point signals to troll me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like they're getting signals from all AAA game development, and they're sandwiching into these new games. But they're taking all the worst fucking parts of the sandwich. Like, no one wants the watery, mushy tomato anymore. I'm sorry. Like, nobody wants this. This is not what makes the game good. So I don't know, in my opinion, get rid of the loot box, get rid of the currency system. We don't need a currency system in Silent Hill.
So
and just help me find the Omamori in these sections instead. I don't know. It's so much simpler too.
I enjoyed the faith
I don't know
currency.
where I stand on this. I really don't. Because
I'm sorry to have cut you off, Connor.
Well, no. I enjoyed the faith currency, and I enjoyed the fact that it was the only currency for all of your upgrades because it forced you to make decisions very early on. I never used a single loot box on Omamori, not a single time. What I did is I immediately built up my ability to add more Omamori slots and then use the ones that I found in the world. So I think the max is 5. I had 3, midway through my first playthrough. And so
I ended with 3.
Yeah.
So I had 3, I want to say like midway through the first one.
Yeah. I mean, it's clunky, right? Like as much as I enjoyed the game, I'm not going to defend that. Like combat didn't feel good.
No.
Like it did not feel good, but that's kind of the point in a survival horror game, right? And when it's melee focused combat, if I am cornered by a grotesque creature in the middle of a strange world, like, am I going to be on top of my shit? Am I going to be able to dodge correctly? Am I going to be an assassin? No, I'm not. I'm going to be scrambling. I'm going to be charging my attack and accidentally hitting the wall. And then I'm going to be panicking. Like,
in a nostalgic sense, I appreciate that. I do. And that's where I think Silent Hill 2 Remake straddled that line very well.
It did.
Where
it
felt modern, but it also felt just clunky enough for you to not feel like you're Joel Miller.
Well, and so
like a train killer.
That's what I thought was really funny about you being like, oh, you're just putting a wrapper on a PS2 game. And I'm like, that's what we just adored 2 Remake for being precisely that.
But they did
You're
it
right. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
They engineered it well where I feel like this combat system is distastefully over-engineered. It's just like, why do I need 2, for all intents and purposes, 2 stamina bars that do 2 different things, weapon breaking, but on top of it, my character is so fucking slow. If I do 1 heavy attack, miss it, then dodge, in the beginning of this game, your stamina bar is wiped with just those 2 moves. And that took like 7 seconds. It's just like too far leaning into clunk.
I feel like there doesn't need to be a stamina bar in this game. It's not even the combat that's really the problem for me. It's the fact that they pretty much tell you right up front that like, yo, you don't have to fight. Mm-hmm. And people told you that. They sold this combat to me. They're like, you don't have to fight. Like the combat's not the point of this game. It's the story. It's getting away from these monsters. And then you get to a point where you have to fight. Not because you can't outrun them, but because you're put in positions where the objective is defeat the monsters. You cannot progress without fighting all the fucking time. All the time.
All the time.
I was anticipating like this exact conversation because that is precisely where that's where I agree with you, right? Like
because
I said,
it's true.
Yeah. Well, so I'm in the middle of New Game Plus, right? And what I found is that all of the areas that I was painstakingly exploring the first time around, because I'm just trying to learn some more lore and get through it, I'm powering through, right? Like it's so much faster movement the second playthrough.
And mainly you're not taking the time to like really soak yourself in the world because you've had the experience. You're able to kind of breeze through things and like almost kind of have fun with it.
Yeah, you know? I'm double checking areas that I couldn't access before or seeing if things that were found in different locations are more available. Like, for instance, if you go back to the doctor's house, there's a second key in New Game Plus, and you're able to go to a different area, get a different Omamori, that kind of thing. And what I found going through this time is that you don't have to fight anyone until you do. Yeah. Right? When it literally, the objective becomes defeat all monsters to progress. Like, yes, you have to do that.
That was where I soured on this game. Like, I don't want to say big time because I largely, like, I'm appreciative of this experience and I think this is going to help the franchise in the long run. There's gas in the tank for Silent Hill in the future and this is only doing positive things for the franchise, right?
Yeah.
Can you agree there?
Yeah. I can.
I was largely enjoying it until you were forced to do it.
Silent Hill has often had, you'll be cornered with a boss, right? Yeah. You have no choice but to defeat the boss, but oftentimes the boss has a self-defeating mechanic or, you know, the avoid for this long or figure out an alternative solution, right? Or, you know, you had fucking guns, right? So like it's slightly different for sure. But I mean, there have always been those moments in this franchise, right? And feeling cornered is kind of part of the game.
Yeah. I felt like it was really heavy-handed endgame. I felt like
well, I mean, by endgame, it's become a completely different game too. Like that's the other thing is you have to be not just Shrine and Real World Hinako, but also like halfway through this game, something big happens.
there's a change.
Yeah,
And
Let's get into that aspect of the game. More of the story stuff. More of the
this is the other really
later
important
game
part
stuff.
of this game.
So, are you? If you're being careful about spoilers, we are getting deeper into the waters from here on out. Fair warning.
Yes, there is a change that happens in this game. Yeah, Beast Hinako.
I've heard it referred to as her first Sona, which I very much enjoyed. I like that.
Yes, he said that.
Yeah. If I didn't
Persona.
if I didn't feel like this was Silent Hill before, oh boy, did I not feel this being Silent Hill now.
No, I did not at all. But I will say the part of Silent Hill I did feel in this was being so incredibly uneasy that I think I texted you immediately. I was just like, dude, I'm like at a loss for words right now of how this makes me feel because I just felt disgusting. It just torture. It was I don't know. I didn't expect it.
To be clear, we're talking about Hinako forcibly cutting off her own arm with a giant ceremonial saw.
Yes, and then her essentially getting her face ripped off and replaced with a fox mask. And just her being willingly putting herself through pain and just it being voiced very well. I played this in Japanese because I think that's the right thing to do.
Well, all right. Do we want to separate story from the change in combat? Because it's essential to talk about what happens in the story that makes it so different. But when she self-mutilates for, the good of her arranged marriage, she then becomes bestowed with, spiritual powers. I don't know, what do you want to call it? She has a gigantic anime fox arm that she can use to just strike wildly at all opponents. And it changes the dynamic of combat almost like entirely.
For me, it almost felt like a different game.
I wish it felt more like a different game. Like, frankly,
I wish it did too.
Yeah, if they were going to take that route with it, which again, this game had a mission statement from the start, right? And it's funny that all the Deftones stocks, this was their gore, right? This is Silent Hill's gore. They came into it with a mission statement. They knew the game was going to be different from the outset. I wish they went full Capcom. I wish this became like an arcade brawler in combat with the fox arm,
like power fantasy, like
100%.
But then I feel like it would have been a little too comical.
The overall tone, this is something I don't know when to say it, so I'll just bring it up now. Like, one of the things that I adore about this game so much is the overall atmosphere is just so steeped in horror culture, right? In horror films. The bridge being blown apart is a reference to Evil Dead 2. The entire self-mutilation scene looks straight out of Audition. It's just Mike through and through. And that is just ceaseless. Like the direction of the cinematics and just the events that, like, the willing mutilation she puts herself through, that's about as graphic as you can get in this kind of environment, was astonishing. I thought it was phenomenal.
I thought it was too. And that's why I was saying I was so uneasy, because it was so, the mutilation was so tastefully done that it would.
Number of times I said that in my life.
It was so, it left me, for lack of a better word, it left me disturbed. Because like they could have just literally shown everything and they didn't. And that's what they just left you with. Like, the cinematography in this game is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
in certain scenes, like the camera is dancing and shaking in a way that like an auteur filmmaker would. And I was like, some scenes I'm just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Which is something that we lost in 2 Remake. Remember, that was like something that I specifically brought up when we talked about that, because 2 Remake and the lack of a fixed camera brought up that, when you're adjusting it yourself, it lost a very, the whole thing is steeped in Lynch, right? And a lot of that goes out the window when you get to choose what angle you're viewing.
Yeah, like there's one of the rituals where like it's happening and the camera slowly like swirls upside down and then flips towards and I was just like, what am I watching right now? Because like the game doesn't feel like this. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it to. It was such a keen eye in cinematography when they wanted to do it. And I was like, that's when I was so pulled in 2 different directions in this game.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to full-heartedly just love everything about it. And I was trying so hard to.
But boy, now that you mention it, this game could have used fixed camera angles. Holy shit, that would have been incredible. Really could have used them.
That's something,
or at least like pseudo fixed angle, like like Silent Hill 2, or that's pretty much how they did it.
You have full control when you're in tight corridors, but when you're entering a brand new area, when you're going into like a big showpiece kind of thing, like the Fox gates, fix me up, baby. I don't know, stuff like
Those
that.
Fox statues are great. I love the Fox statues.
Okay, so big thing in my interpretation of this story, I previously had mentioned that I thought it was a bit more sinister the whole time than it actually was. I thought this looming decision of Hinako, this is the kind of shit we're getting from Shu, I back you in your decision no matter what, blah, blah, blah. He setting her up with these pills and all that jazz. The audio, this recurring piece of audio, editor, please add this to the thing now so we can listen it to. I'm the editor. That's me. Future me. Do that. I thought
He's the editor.
I thought Hinako was pregnant.
Ooh, I didn't get that at all.
And you know that wail that you get every time an enemy comes in that we just listening to that? I thought it was supposed to emulate an infant.
that's a wow. All right.
That's interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
And I thought it was her decision or not to take these pills in a 60s version of an abortion. I don't know if that's a thing because that was a long time ago. Going into the story, I thought that was the looming doom over Hinako this whole time. And then when it was made clear that there was this other character we weren't aware of, the Fox Boy, anime Fox Boy, they had an arranged marriage or agreed upon marriage, basically. Then I thought it was that plus pregnancy. And then it just became even heavier after that for me. Then when we got those pregnancy enemies where they were just blobs and bloated breasts or bloated bellies. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is even more disturbing now that I know that.
And they're popping out. Yeah.
This is all more of that.
Dive too deep into this. Is that part of anything?
Not that I'm aware of yet. And again, so I'm only midway through New Game Plus. I think we're all aware that with all of the different endings and the different playthroughs that you have to get through to get those endings, I honestly don't know.
I did watch all of the endings, and I was also watching all of these endings walking my dog, looking at it on my phone. So I wasn't paying attention as much as I could have been, but I didn't get anything about pregnancy related.
I don't think it's a thing at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's important for us to, because the other, not reservation, but the other thing that I had coming in here is we are three Western white people discussing this game about a woman's struggle in 1960s Japan, right? There is a lot of subtext here that we're just not really well equipped to discuss, right? And there's a lot of
not only is it about a time in Japan, it is also made by Japanese people.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, you have to imagine that's a very authentic window into what that was like.
Yeah, or they have references and they have windows into the stuff that we can only just imagine. Mm-hmm. So it's...
Yeah, and that's another thing to keep in mind, too. Should we just discuss the fact that, so much of the story is left untold? If you play this game to completion, you get 1/5 of the story that this game has to offer. And that's... While I love that concept, I love the ability to dive into it more. Like I said, I posted a thing on the Silent Hill F subreddit asking, is Hinako a romantic? Is Hinako asexual? Is there subtext that I've missed here about her? Because I don't believe that there's any actual, in the ending and a half that I've gotten at this point, that there's any real indication that she has any romantic interest in anyone whatsoever, other than a protective friendship with her childhood friend. There's so much about her struggle with young adulthood, with femininity, and other people willing her into romantic relationships, that there's a lot to explore there. And unfortunately, so much of it is told through notes, through lore that is optional pickup, that is a lot of it easily missable.
Yeah.
It's really like I love diving into it, but for people like yourselves who bounced off it enough to not want to do additional playthroughs, it's just not there, right?
Yeah, it's not more like I didn't want to see what else happened. It was more like I didn't want to play the game again.
Well,
I wanted to watch all the endings. I did a little bit of reading. I'd still like to get more theories and written breakdowns of how people experience this who are more perceptive than I, and I still like that stuff. I'm still invested in the story.
Like how it took you like 11 and a half hours to complete?
Almost exactly.
Okay. And you were like how
Right
much?
about 10.
Okay. I think I did 13 and a half hours my first playthrough. So, I was very methodical. Like I don't think that I will be as thorough in any of these additional playthroughs. I'm 3.5 hours into my next one and I'm very far in the game versus where I was the first time around, right? Yeah. I think it's just without the addition of, I don't know, if they had given you some kind of mega power or the new game plus mode, change the placement of enemies or something that let you breeze through additional playthroughs, that's the kind of thing that would get people invested in doing.
Yeah, if they gave me a rocket launcher, I'm pretty sure I would do a new game plus.
It's not even that. It's like you said, most of its story is buried behind potentially optional notes. Mm-hmm. And if you're like
definitely optional notes, but I also feel like this game is shoving those notes in your face. Like the journal entries.
Oh my God. The Rico ones?
But I'm saying like shoving it in your face. Like when you get a new journal entry, when you're just walking around, it tells you on the screen. It's telling you like, listen, you want story. It's here.
And I love games where journal entry is like the way to dive deep into the lore.
I mean, yeah, you're a Souls guy. The entire story is told through item descriptions. So it's...
Yeah, but
so I understand. I'm understanding
yeah.
where you're coming from. It's not that it's because it's tied somewhere else. It's because of the way it's handed to you.
Yeah, but the directorial vision of those games are still, they give you 80% of the meat naturally in your playthrough. I feel like this game gives you 30% of the meat naturally through your playthrough. The rest, figure it fucking out, dude. Shame on you for not knowing all of this. It's like, come on, you could have thought of the player just a little bit more. That's just me.
Would you feel differently if the amount of story presented in the initial playthrough was more substantive?
I can confidently say yes, for sure. Just being forced to read all of those diary entries in the Rinko section, especially, it's just like after, I don't know, the 25th one, I was just like, dude, I get it. I fucking get it. Rinko is incredibly jealous and just not well. Like, please, let's move on. I don't need another 40 of these.
I really like the diary entries. I don't know how to say it beyond that. I really enjoyed diving into those. And the fact that they are expanded upon, and that when you go back into New Game Plus, everything still exists and is only added to, is something that I really enjoy. But again, it's a matter of...
So is New Game Plus adding extra ones that you can't get in the first playthrough?
They're all different. When you find them, I mean, some of the content, like right from the jump, unless my memory is absolute dog shit, right from the jump, the very first lines of dialogue when you are leaving your parents' home are different, are directly about the arranged marriage situation. Which which I did not get. And again, memory, but I did not get the first time I played through. I was like, oh, her dad's drunk, so she's leaving. But
that's what I got originally too, but I could have missed it as well.
From the start of New Game Plus, they are literally discussing her arranged marriage. Her mother is trying to talk her father down. And then even when you're headed to the candy store to go meet your friends and she's sliding between the houses there, you hear people discussing her arranged marriage and talking about
Interesting.
Yeah, talking about
that definitely wasn't
being lucky.
It definitely wasn't that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her
I don't remember
parents,
that at
her
all.
father was discussing why couldn't she be more like Junko, her sister.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, and the arranged marriage was because of his debts, right? So he essentially sold Hinako off to someone to pay off debt.
Yeah, and that's the bride price.
Yeah. And then, again, this is only hearsay because I've only read this online, but apparently there are notes elsewhere that reveal that the debt that he is in, because the father is so villainized, there are apparently notes that reveal the debt he is in was paying for her mother's treatment.
Cancer treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
See?
Levels, my guy, levels.
Didn't get any of that, did you?
When I used to work for the fake record store in the mall, I got really into, like,
Do you want to let them know what the fake record store in the mall is?
From the official podcast of gaming? No, they don't need those bucks.
No, we're not trying to dox ourselves.
I was basically like ushered into the era of early 2000s Japanese horror, right? Like foreign horror at the time was shit hot. You know, you had like Audition, you had Uzumaki, you had Ju-on, Dark Water. Just that era of Japanese horror was phenomenal. And that kind of presentation and atmosphere is just like rife in this game.
And us being white Americans from the Northeast, the only place where you can get this crazy Japanese horror was at this fake record store at the mall. That was the place. I remember that fake record store at the mall was full of this stuff. It was awesome.
And I mean, I think it lovingly pays tribute to a lot of that stuff. And I mean, like, even the obvious one is Battle Royale, right? Like, you have a young girl and a schoolgirl outfit running around beating the shit out of things with inventive weaponry. Like, it pays tribute to that very, very well.
Sure. Yeah.
And that, I mean, I felt the love. I felt the horror cinema love.
Walk me through how you felt after you rolled credits and you got a better picture of what was going on in this game.
So, I mean, it's really interesting. The default ending reveals that so there's also, as part of the culture clash that we were talking about earlier on, like 1960s being a changing time and the previous culture kind of going by the wayside, there's traditional versus modern medicine is brought into that a lot. And you've got Shu's family Shu himself providing, I just want to say it, Shu providing Hinako with those pills, right? And so you have been nonchalantly just munching pills the entire time to recover.
With a combat system like that? Oh, yeah.
Just throwing them back. Only to find that the pills are largely responsible for Hinako's psychosis, right? You find at the end that the enemies she's been attacking are gatherers at her own wedding. So, you know, you get as she's running down the final hallway and the pills are just growing larger and larger as, you know, her mind recedes to the psychosis that the drugs have induced in her. And then, you know, you find out that the monsters that she's been slaughtering are the attendees of her own wedding. The talk about, you know, women's traditional role in 1960s Japan, marriage, arranged marriages, it's, like I said, it's not as clear the first playthrough. When I first heard that she was at the wedding, other than talking about her with Fox Mask, that wasn't as clear to me that was going to be the ending point for it, right? And like I said, on New Game Plus, that's immediately what you're met with. Tying into the young boy that she saves from the fox attack in the playground, that is Fox Mask. Mm-hmm. What the hell is his name?
I forget his name too. I'll flash it on screen.
Yeah. Rinko. Yeah. It's definitely a lot heavier than it is on its face. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you for diving a little deeper into it and understanding more of it than we did.
I listened to specifically a couple podcasts with both female and Japanese gamers discussing it. And I mean, there's just so much stuff that, like, I'm just not equipped to discuss, but I found it really fascinating. Like, something that immediately within the first, 20 minutes of the game, you had female gamers being like, well, obviously the rot is an allegory for the onset of menstruation.
No shit. So people who are able to at least pick up on that, did they have largely did they have like a very a more appreciative stance on the story because of it?
Yes. I mean, the impression I'm left with is yes. Asian gamers, female gamers that I had listened to said that, how do I phrase this without sounding like a fucking dumbass? I think that the themes of those stories, like, I can acknowledge that it is not my learned experience, right? It's not something that I really have the capability to speak on.
Sure, yeah.
But that it clearly seems to resonate with people who grew up either with that culture or were assigned female at birth. The story resonated much more succinctly with them, right? There are things, the word I wanted to use was profound. The story registered much more profoundly with them, right? We're able to recognize it, and I think that that's important. That's cool. But I'm also able to recognize that it's not going to mean the same thing to me as it is for people.
Of course. Yeah. I didn't even pick up on it at all, mainly just because I'm inequipped to really pick up on anything like that.
Well, and I think that that's kind of indicative of the whole sea change we were talking about here, right? Like Silent Hill 2 was a major curveball from 1 back when it first came out, and this is yet another huge change that's just going to take the series in a totally different direction and probably resounds with people who might have never picked this game up otherwise.
Yeah, or best case scenario, we're just able to have these different Silent Hill experiences just like simultaneously, right? Well, like Silent Hill just becomes more of less like a town and more of just the idea of a homestead, if you will.
Or maybe even a state of mind.
Yeah.
Well, so that's actually, maybe that's a good place to bring this. Is this a Silent Hill? Is this game a Silent Hill game?
Considering, let's go back to our last show with 2 Remake. I consider the whole frame of that game to be in James's samsara, James's own mind, James's own afterlife, whatever you want to call it. So that being said, I might actually think Silent Hill is more of a psychological thing than a physical place, even though it is a town.
I mean,
in our beloved previous entries.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my copy does say Silent Hill on it. So I think it is a Silent Hill game. But joking aside,
I didn't have a physical copy, remember?
Oh, but did it say it on your PS5? Did it say Silent Hill F?
I don't have a witty retort.
I'm not funny, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to unequivocally say yes. That I definitely think it's a Silent Hill game because, like, to not be so eloquent, like, what the fuck do we have to lose, dude? We've had nothing. Mm-hmm. We've had nothing in this franchise. Downpour and Homecoming, fine, whatever. Like, they're not, like, we need to embrace this. What we love about Silent Hill is the psychological survival horror. And that is what we got here.
100%.
That is what
100%.
we got here. You cannot say that is not what we got here. So, like, can it change and morph? Yeah, absolutely, because that's what the human mind does. And isn't that what this fucking game is about anyway?
According to Hinako's Fox Arm, absolutely.
Like, we're here to morph and change and be thrown into the unexpected. And that's exactly what was done here. And it didn't largely resonate with me as much as I'd like, but, like, I'm fucking here for it. Like, I love it. I love this game exists. And not every game has to be for me to love it. You know?
You're a beautiful person.
Aww.
I don't want to come off as being like, yeah, the combat sucks. Because, like, it objectively does. Come on, let's be real. The combat sucks.
No, combat sucks.
What? You don't think it sucks?
No, the combat sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. That's fine.
I'm with you in that not every game has to be for me. Not every Silent Hill has to be for me. And that is fine.
But we can sit back, you and I can sit back objectively and just be like, this is only gonna do good for the things that we love.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there were a couple of very smart decisions made, right? Like, it is not a numbered entry to the franchise, right? I think that's very deliberate. I think the fact that they chose to set it, exact year aside, most of the Silent Hill numbered titles are in modern day settings, right? So setting this in a setting where both cultural norms and gender norms were totally different was a really smart decision for the kind of story they were trying to tell.
It's a very good point. You guys feel that? Tut tut, looks like rain.
Tut tut.
Let's summon Alexander for Divine Judgment.
Tut tut, indeed.
For bonus stars, I'll say it again. The town was the crowning jewel of this game. It was great. The vibe was unbelievable. Don't think it was used to its fullest effect, but nonetheless, one of my favorite survival horror game environments. Hard stop, honestly. And I don't know how they did it, but maybe I appreciate this more because I am bald. But Hinako's hair, but specifically like the lighting in her hair and the physics of the bouncing of her hair. Oh,
I guess I didn't notice it.
Oh, it was remarkable, my friend. Maybe because I'm the bald bitch who noticed this, but that gets a bonus star, in my opinion.
What about you?
Bonus stars. I want to talk about setting. I want to talk about art direction. Particularly, I want to talk about the sound design.
Hell yeah, dude.
I thought that Similarly to 2, the sound design in this game was just excellent. There was a completely just an impending feeling of dread the entire time I played. Anytime that you felt cornered, the sound added so much to that. Whenever you were forced into combat, vocals entered. Like they came seemingly out of nowhere. And there were a variety of them depending on what kind of enemy you were facing. You know, you'd get these reverse mellotron-y choral style vocals coming in, or the throat singing and pounding toms, or just wordless chanting that would come up a lot. Really, really excellent and just very, very unnerving stuff that absolutely sold me on it.
And again, I thought a lot of that chanting was emulating like an infant or something. So I thought that was really terrifying myself.
Man, that really thematically tied into not the theme, Clinton.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what you said. Is just like we've always here at the Super Game Boys, gaming's official podcast, have been very vocal about, you know, lifting up Akira Yamaoka as much as possible. I feel like he needs, when we're talking about the general sound designers and composers of video games as a whole, I really don't think this guy gets his flowers enough. And
I don't think he got enough.
He's
in
this
game.
far into his career, still just sticking with Silent Hill. He's releasing albums not tied through video games that are fucking awesome. God, his work here is like, it's up there with some of the best he's ever done.
I agree. It's great.
It's awesome.
I don't think they used his superpowers enough at all in this game.
And obviously there's probably more people involved with the sound design than just Akira.
Yeah.
And like, I want to say just sound effects and just largely the sound in this game as a whole, it's just incredible.
It's phenomenal.
Incredible.
Yeah.
To the point where I would imagine we all played with headphones.
Mm-hmm. I went back and forth because I do have a pretty good Dolby setup. So yeah.
Yeah. I definitely love to do that with scary games, as I just want to force myself, because, you know, sometimes I'm playing during the day because that's just how, you know, people who claim to be adults have to do things, right? It's like sometimes that's what the time I have to game. So, you know, blackout curtains and I put headphones on and I try to scare myself.
I think, honestly, in a discussion in which we talked at such length about the story, it would kind of be silly to not give Ryukishi 7 flowers as well, right? Like, I think that the storyline here, how deep it can get and how far it unfolds with, you know, subsequent plays and finding more notes and more journal entries is just a testament to the depth of this story.
I agree, but I'll say it again. I just wish the plating and the delivery of the story, for lack of better words, for a dumb shit who doesn't want to spend all of his time with the game.
Especially if you didn't really like it all that much.
So I'm going to bring it back to you.
Are you going to give the first score?
What's your numbered score with this game?
I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10.
There you go.
8 out of 10.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm going to go 7. I feel like that's a little high, but I feel like I was coming in, I think, between 6 and 6.5. And I think your love for it and you're convincing me that, like, even though it wasn't for me, that there's a great game here. And giving it a 7. Did I want it to be a 10? You bet your ass I did.
Oh, yeah. I wanted nothing more to play another 10 out of 10 this year because I'm full of them, believe me. Objectively, I feel like this game is a 7 out of 10. But my enjoyment score of this game, I'm giving it a 5.
Hey, 5. It's not too bad. It's halfway to 10.
So what do we got here? We got 8, 7, 5, 20 out of 30.
666.
That's fucking...
On All Hallows Eve.
Wow, hey.
That's
pretty cool.
Wow. We did not. Yeah, we didn't plan that. It's 6.66 repeating.
The Super Game Boys score.
Yeah. The official Super Game Boy score is 666 out of 1,000.
At $70, what did you...
Oh, forgot to say, yeah. $70 is a lot. It's a lot of money.
It seems to be kind of the standard, no? I mean, how much is Yote?
$70.
$70. Yeah.
But hey, Ghost of Yote is a $70 fucking game. take that for what you will.
But yeah, here's the thing. I mean, things are all expensive now. I mean, what? Chrono Trigger was $70 and 94, whatever the fuck it came.
I'm
out.
all about games being more expensive.
And now this game is 70. No, I'm not.
Well, inflation and the developers who are making these things, who I love.
Yeah, and that's
they
why
need to get paid.
I don't regret spending $70 because people put their heart and souls into this and they got my $70.
Yeah.
And even if I hated this game, I wouldn't be like, if there was a scenario where I could get my money back, I wouldn't be doing it.
I mean,
because
even if you just look at it as pure entertainment value, like how else are you going to get 11 and a half hours of entertainment for $70? Where else is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Right here in Silent Hill.
Yeah. So
Goka.
I think if we're gonna quickly talk about how games are priced, I mean, we've kind of had it good. We're eating good for decades.
Yeah.
We're eating good for decades.
That's where I'm at, where like I don't mind paying a little bit more for really great games.
But also back in the day, there was dynamic pricing, and it's
still
kind of
here.
happening. It's kind of
It's still
happening
here.
now with
Yeah.
indie games. But now I feel like some AA games, like what Claire Obscura dropped for $50. That was full price.
I mean, Silk Song was $20.
Silk Song was $20. The studio here, everyone involved, maybe not Konami as a whole, but they deserved my $70, and they got it. They also did my boy Kojima wrong, so it's
You're talking to my boy all wrong.
they did him wrong.
I love it. For me, $70. I don't know if you're trying to get your spooky fix, I'd say buy 2 Remake and some really good takeout instead.
What would you get for the takeout? If you were in this situation, hypothetically, I'm hungry, so I want to hear. What's your dream takeout tonight? Any choice.
With survival horror,
Yeah.
good local pizza. Yeah. Just a good,
Just like my guy Eddie.
It's a slutty slice, my guy.
just a slice. Yeah.
Just like my guy Eddie.
Good.
I can't believe you're just eating pizza while playing this game. So, how did you feel about Silent Hill F? Make sure to leave us a comment down below letting us know.
Like and subscribe and do all that stuff that everyone always tells you to do. But like we really mean it here because we like your likes, we like your subscribes, and we like talking to you in the comments.
I'm about to subscribe right now on camera.
We like your likes, we like your subscribes.